In this video, we are going to take a look at ways in which that we can annotate construction documents in Autodesk Revit. To begin with, I'm going to place some text notes on this cover sheet. Often architectural firms will use the same notes in several projects, so you might find that you have a text file or a Word document that has all of those notes in it. I'm going to go ahead and click into this notepad document. I'm going to press Control A to select all, then Control C to copy this text. Next, back in Autodesk Revit, I'm going to start my text tool. I can go to the Annotate tab and select text here. You can also select it from the Quick Access toolbar. I'm going to click and drag to create a text box. Then I could start typing my notes in. Of course, since I'm copying and pasting, I'm going to press Control V at the keyboard to paste those in. Now I've quickly added the text in here. Currently, the numbers and letters are actually just text items, so I do not get any additional numbering if I try to add in additional rows. So we're going to adjust this and actually turn them into numbered lists. So I'll just select everything in here and select list numbers. Then I am going to indent the sub items that begin with letters. So I'll just click in this row A and select my increase indent. I will continue to do that for the ones below. Again, underneath the number 2, I will get A through D. Then I will click underneath number 3. Again, indent each of the lettered ones. And then finally, there's 5 underneath electrical. So you can see the original text labels and then the ones that I placed in here. I'm going to need to do some cleaning up to get rid of the ones that are just text. So I'm going to do some backspacing and deleting to get rid of these extra labels and text. So a little bit of work to get this just perfect, but still way less work than typing all of this information in each time. I actually want my sub items to be lowercase letters, so I'll just click in any of the lower rows here and change this to lowercase letters. And you can see it changes the whole group. So I'll go ahead and do that for each of these 4 subgroups here. Once again, the benefit of doing this is if I click in any row and press enter, then it will adjust the numbering and or lettering for me. I'm just going to go ahead and undo to back that up here. I'm going to add in a heading of general notes here. So I'll click in front of the general here on number 1 and press enter. You can see that it actually lost my number, so I'm just going to go up and turn the number back on for that one. Then in the first row, I'm just simply going to type general notes. I'll click and drag to highlight it and make it bold and underlined. Finally, I want to change the wrapping of the text here. So I'll click away from the text box and press escape to get out of the text command. I'll select the text box. Then I can use the grip here on the right side to drag it in to again change the way in which it is being wrapped. Of course, if I want to move it, I've got a move symbol on the beginning here. Next, we'll take a look at a mechanical example. Here I have a 3D view of some ductwork, and I want to place some labels with leaders on these items. First thing I'm going to do is change my level of detail. My pipes are just showing as thin lines, so I'll change that to the fine detail so it'll actually show the pipe thickness here. Then I am going to start my text tool, once again up here on the Quick Access toolbar. I can choose the type and size of text that I want, so I'm going to go with the 3/32 Arial. And then I can decide if I want it to have a leader or not. So I can choose no leader, a leader with 1 segment, a curved leader, or a leader with 2 segments. I'll go ahead and choose that option. My first click is going to be where the arrowhead is, so I'm just going to click somewhere on one of these supply ducts. Then I'll come out here to the right and I'll click my point to start my landing, and then I'll click a second point to draw my landing. Then I can go ahead and add in my label. So in this case, this one is going to say supply air ducts. If you press enter, it'll give you another line. So instead of pressing enter, you can either click close up here on the ribbon or just click away from the text. Next, I'll add one for the air handling unit. So once again, I'll click on the air handler, and then I want to use tracking to make sure I get some nice uniform text here. So I'll track off of that landing and then track off the other side of the landing. Then I'll put in my next label of air handling unit. Of course, I can continue the process to add in additional leaders to call out different things in this 3D HVAC system view. Next, we'll take a look at an electrical example. In addition to adding in text and leaders, we can also draw lines to represent annotation objects as well. In this particular electrical room, we want to create an area with a dashed line to indicate that that area needs to remain clear. For this, I will go to the Annotate tab, and I will select the Detail Line tool. I can choose a different line style, so in this drop-down list, I'm going to choose MEP Hidden, and then I'm going to choose the Rectangle tool. Next, I'm going to draw a 15 feet by 3 feet rectangle in here, so I'll just click my first point, and then I'll bring it up and to the right until I am at 15 by 3 feet. Then I want to add in some text in here, and the current text size is going to be a little large for what I want to do, so we're going to create a new text style. I'll start with the text tool. Once again, the existing styles aren't what I want, so I am going to edit type and then duplicate just like I would duplicate anything else in Revit. I'll give it a different name, so this one is going to be 3/64 inch Arial -red. Then I'll click OK. Then I'll make my changes. So my color is going to be red. My font will stay Arial, but the text size will change to 3/64. And I want this to be italic. I'll go ahead and click OK. Then I will create a text box inside here and write my note. So in this case, this note is going to say, keep this area clear for access to electrical panels. Then I can just click away from it, press escape, and we can see our new text style. So once again, when I start the text tool, that will be a new style available in my drop-down list. Finally, let's take a look at a plumbing example. Here I have a 3D plumbing view, and I just simply want to add some leader text to call out the different pipes that I have here. So I'll begin by using my text tool and selecting my 3/32 Arial style. I want to choose the text with 2 segments for the leader. Then I'll begin by labeling my domestic hot water. So I'll click on the hot water pipe, and then my next click will start my landing, and then my next click will finish my landing. Then I can go ahead and enter in my text. So in this case, it is going to be domestic hot water. You can see that it looks kind of messy, like it's going to overlap, but when I click away from it, you can see that it is going to properly align it since the leader is going to the left. I can go ahead and repeat that process to call out the others. So I'll do another one here and track off of that leader to get that looking nice and even. Then I'll have my domestic cold water. And then I'll have one more for my sanitary. Once again, tracking off of the others to get that nice and uniform. So there you have several different ways to add annotations. We've got text with leaders, and then of course we can sketch in different line components, and then we can create new text styles as needed. That concludes this look at annotating construction documents in Autodesk Revit.